Okay, time for a new video, and whether you are somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it is greatly appreciated. As always, I'm filming this video in one go, so if I stumble over my words moving forwards, apologies about that, and also apologies if the quality of this video is fairly poor as well. If there's any lag, anything like that at all, sadly it can't be helped, and hopefully it's not too much of an issue for you. This is yet another Eurovision related video here on my channel, and today I am going to be briefly discussing the winners of the Eurovision Song Contest between 2014 and 2024, and talking about whether the right songs actually won. Of course, that is a matter of opinion, but I'll be discussing that nevertheless. I'm also going to be ranking the last decade's worth of winners in terms of personal preference and as neutrally as possible, and then I'll be ranking my own personal winners from 2014 to 2024 in order of preference. You're very welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. So I'm going to need a notebook here so I can make a couple of notes as we go along. Let's go back to 2014 then, in Copenhagen, the third contest to be staged in that city, in a third different venue no less. And the winner was, for a second time, Austria. Many, many years after their inaugural win. I believe it is the longest gap between wins for one country. And it was Conchita Wurst, of course, with Rise Like a Phoenix. And from what I remember, this was well before I started making videos on YouTube. But I was very much a fan of Eurovision by this point, and I was following national finals as well at this stage. Conchita was internally chosen, but I think it was 2 years before Conchita was in the Austrian national selection. And had Conchita gone to Eurovision in Baku, she might well have won. Then again, Loreen was involved, and there were several other great songs in that Baku staged competition. However, Conchita had tried to represent Austria in the past. That's the point I'm trying to make. But Track Shitas went to Eurovision instead, and we all know how well they did. But anyway, Conchita was back in 2014 with Rise Like a Phoenix, this very grand, elegant-sounding tune, very much like a James Bond theme. And from what I remember, this was the favourite to win, especially coming into the contest. And I talk about momentum all the time, and I very much believe this song had quite a bit of momentum behind it. Armenia were front-runners for quite some time. That was Aram MP3. He ended up in 4th place. But Austria won comfortably, and there was quite a bit of talk about would the juries, particularly the more conservative jury members, would they really appreciate this song, and more importantly perhaps, would they appreciate a performer like Conchita singing this song? Well, it turns out they absolutely did, because in the split results, Austria won the jury vote ahead of Sweden, 224 points, and Conchita very convincingly won the public vote with 311 points. The Netherlands was second with 222, and because this was before the current voting system was implemented, the sort of average mark was worked out, something like that, and Austria triumphed with 290 points. The Netherlands had 238 in the end. So, did the right song win? I think so. I really do. I'm trying to think here about people's rankings on YouTube, which is of course an extremely small percentage of people who give a damn about Eurovision. But the Netherlands, that came up on the rails like you would not believe in the week of the contest. After the semi-final one performance, people really started gravitating towards that track. And it is my winner of the year. It's my #1 favourite Eurovision song thus far. And I think had the Netherlands won, it would have been a really fantastic moment because they hadn't won in so very long, like Austria admittedly. But also it would have been a great moment in terms of music at Eurovision, because perhaps slightly more so in 2014 than nowadays, there was this feeling, and perhaps this was just a British press thing, but there was this sense of Eurovision being chock full of cheesy music and really poor quality stuff. That Dutch entry was top quality stuff, and it was staged in such a great manner, and I think had the Common Linnets triumphed, I think it would have done wonders for the contest's reputation. However, Eurovision has, many times in the past, been about championing the performer as well as the song, and Conchita was obviously this drag persona, and there was a lot of attention surrounding that, and it just so happened that the song Conchita had was pretty decent as well. This stirring number, like I said, staged in quite an elegant manner, pretty strong vocally, I would say, as well. And had the Netherlands won, I'm not sure many people would be sitting here now, as a Eurovision fan, saying, oh yeah, I mean, that's such an absolute Eurovision classic. It's gone down as one of the finest winners we've ever had. I'm not sure a lot of people would be saying that. If anything, we might be saying Calm After the Storm is actually not one of the most popular winners we've had over the past 20 years or so. Sweden finished third. I'm not sure that would have been a popular winner either. In terms of longevity, you know, several years down the line, would people be saying Undo is an absolute world-class winning Eurovision entry? I'm not sure they would. So I do think Rise Like a Phoenix was the right winner. I really do. Armenia 4th, Hungary 5th. Yeah, I don't think so. So Austria, the right winner. And in terms of ranking these, well, I'm just going to create a list right now. Austria 2014, there we go. Conchita is now mid-30s in terms of age, if you were wondering. Let's move on to 2015. Well, the winner here, very convincingly in the end, on Austrian soil, in Vienna that year, was, of course, Måns Zelmerlöw with Heroes for Sweden, song 10 in the grand final. 365 points, quite a way ahead of Russia in second and Austria and Italy, my apologies, in third. Do I think the right song won here? I don't think so. Sweden love having something a little extra in terms of staging to make their song stand out from the pack. Måns had this projection of a puppet next to him. And it was very simple, maybe a little bit cheesy in the eyes of many, but it worked, particularly in the jury vote. 363 points, Latvia second with 249, over 100 behind Måns Zelmerlöw. In 2016, Franz had his light-up screen, Robin Bengtsson had the treadmills, Benjamin Ingrosso had his light-up podium, Jon Lundvik had his overhead lamp. The Mamas didn't really have anything, but then again, Eurovision didn't happen in 2020 because of the pandemic. Tusse had lights either side of him, pretty simple, I know. Cornelia Jacobs had her rotating disc, Loreen had the sandwich, and Marcus and Martinez had the light-up corridor. So Sweden, more often than not, have something about their staging just to elevate the song a little bit more. And in 2015 that was the case. It's a very fine pop song. Måns is a pretty engaging performer. He's not a bad singer. He's a bit of a showman type figure. Can't really stay away from Eurovision, although he wasn't seen at all, I don't think, in this year's Malmö staged contest. But the public had him in third, well behind Il Volo with Grande Amore for Italy. And that Italian song, okay, nothing groundbreaking, but it was performed well, vocally sublime, and still very popular. Whereas Heroes, I think, is mostly seen these days, and maybe I'm wrong with this opinion, but I think it's mostly viewed by Eurovision fans these days as a pretty bog-standard pop song that just happened to win. Not a bad tune at all, though. A fine winner, but maybe not the strongest choice that year. And of course, the jury vote tipped the odds in Sweden's favour. So I'm going to put Sweden 2015 here. I don't mind the song, but I do prefer Italy, and I would have rather Italy won that year, and I expected Italy to win that year. Again, this was before I was making prediction videos on YouTube and everything. Russia second, a bit generous, no doubt about it, but not a bad song. Belgium fourth, that was coming up on the rails, that would have been a good winner. Estonia, yeah, they were seventh. That's my winner of 2015, but more on that later. Moving on to 2016 in Stockholm, and the winner was Ukraine. This was the first year with the current voting system in place. And if we take a look at the split results, Jamala was second with the juries, second with the public, the winner overall, 534 points. Australia were so far ahead with the juries, 320 to 211. And in the public vote, Australia were fourth with 191. And I still stick by this. Had Poland not come out of nowhere and bagged 222 big ones from the public for some unfathomable reason in 2016, it would have been an Australian victory for Dami Eamon's Sound of Silence. But what's done is done. We move on. It was years ago. 1944, obviously a song with a fairly political message, you could say. And from what I remember at the time, some people said, oh, Jamal is going to have to change the lyrics because, you know, it's got references, as it says here, to the discriminatory, my apologies, persecution of the Crimean Tatars in the context of the Soviet Union's rule by Joseph Stalin. These violent Soviet actions, which resulted in numerous deaths, had personally endangered Jamal's grandparents, which influenced the piece's emotional tone and its other attributes. Now, it says here that the British news publication The Independent named this song, 1944, in 2022 as the 20th best Eurovision winning song, and The Guardian, a year later, another British newspaper, ranked the song as the 3rd best Eurovision winner in history. I think that's a bit generous. I've never really liked this song. Gotta be honest, I've never really loved it. It's not even a personal qualifier of mine, but I can appreciate it for what it is. It's very emotionally charged, it's very haunting and melancholic, and yet there is this slight element of hope to it as well. Jamala sounded very good on the night, sounded very good in the semi-final, sounded very good at the national final, and this was always a favourite to win. Australia in second, that's the song that I was rooting for in the end, because my favourite of the year was Spain. That finished nowhere. Didn't really expect Spain to do terribly well in terms of challenging for the win at all. Italy, didn't expect them to challenge for the win either. Another song that I really, really liked from that year's contest. So out of the major three, Russia were the favourites, I believe, for a long time. Sergei Lazarev, you are the only one. That was Russia throwing the damn kitchen sink at everything. They were so desperate to win, and it showed. And although the public score was very high, the juries weren't quite so keen. Australia's song, Sound of Silence, is just fantastic. It's a tremendous ballad, and Dami Eames sang the hell out of it. But, had that song won, many Eurovision fans would probably now be saying, oh, it's just a fairly ordinary ballad. Whereas 1944 has something a little extra about it. It's different, it's fresh, it's meaningful, it's not ordinary, you know? And as much as I don't love the song, I've got to say that maybe it was the right winner. I don't know. Australia were very close, but I think this was probably the right winner. Now, I'm going to put Ukraine there, I think, in 2016. Lovely stuff. So we move on, trying to get through this at a good pace. 2017. This was in Kyiv, and Portugal won for the first and only time to date. Salvador Sobral with a song written by his sister, the most convincing winner we've ever had. 758 points. I'm not sure that's ever going to be beaten under the current voting system. He won the jury vote by over 100 points. He won the public vote fairly convincingly as well. And what was interesting about this is that Portugal weren't the favourites. A lot of people weren't loving Amar Pelos Dois to begin with, and a lot of people still don't love this song. From what I remember, Italy were the clear favourites for a long, long time. But then Occidentali's karma fell apart for some reason. The live performance in Kyiv wasn't as strong as it was at Sanremo. It didn't really translate well to a massive stage, and ultimately Italy, like I said, just fell apart. Bulgaria was second. I think that's one of the most overrated runners-up we've probably ever had, but it is what it is. Moldova third. You could say that's also very generous. Do I think the right song won? I absolutely do. Every time I hear Amar Pelos Dois, I like it more than I did previously. It's not one of my big favourites. It wasn't even a personal qualifier back in 2017 for me personally. But now, I really do appreciate it for what it is. And like with the Netherlands in 2014, admittedly the common limits didn't win, but Salvador did win several years later, and I think it was a great moment for the contest because it showed that genuinely heartfelt music, pared back ballads, nothing to it really, simply staged, beautiful song, in Portuguese as well, not even English. Music like this could triumph, and triumph well. I mean, this was such a big win, and for Portugal, who had never won before, to come along with something like this and win so convincingly was highly impressive. So I think Portugal 2017, yes, goes there for me in this little list that I'm compiling now. I do think it was the right choice. Beautiful Mess. I'm not really sure what people saw in that, to be honest. I'm not saying it's wildly overrated, but I didn't really love it that much and still don't. Moldova was a bit of fun. Third place for that, though, is quite generous. Belgium fourth. I do love that song. My personal winner was Italy, but more on that in a moment's time. Let's move on to Lisbon 2018. Now, I'm going to go ahead and straight up say this. I do not think the right song won in 2018. Netta, of course, triumphed for Israel with Toy. She won the public vote quite convincingly. Third with the juries, who for some reason had Austria first. 529 points, which is not far off 100 points ahead of the runner-up, Cyprus, their best result to date. That was Fuego, of course, by Eleni Foureira. There's no doubt about it. Fuego has always been more popular than Toy. I really think so. I remember in 2018, more people were reacting to this song, more people were loving this song. It was this sort of girl bop, the first one that I suppose people really raved about when it came to Eurovision. Can't really think of one before it. Of course, we had them, but this was definitely a bit of a moment for Cyprus in terms of their participation in the contest, and also just in terms of the amount of attention that was going this song's way. People were loving it. But it's also a fairly ordinary pop song. Israel's track, it's a little bit quirkier, it's arguably a little bit catchier. You could even say the performance was stronger. Austria were third, I don't think so. Not a bad song, but not a winner. Germany fourth, yes, very nice. Heartfelt, touching stuff. Very well performed in my opinion. But a winner? I'm not sure about that. Italy fifth, juries weren't keen, public were. Anyway, do I think the right song won? I don't. And the reason I say that is because that Cypriot song is still so popular today. People talk about it being robbed, Eleni was robbed, etc, etc. And as much as Toy is fine, I don't know, I feel like there was maybe a bit of backlash towards that song, not long after Israel won. I'm not really sure why, but I do believe there was some sort of backlash, and I think it was perhaps from a lot of people who were really miffed that Cyprus didn't win. But I think in terms of longevity, in terms of popularity, even at the time, I think Cyprus had the edge. So I'm going to say, again, it's just a matter of opinion, this really, but I think the wrong song won. I'm not sure Toy is widely considered one of the best winners we've ever had. Certainly in the past decade, I don't think it's considered one of the best winners at all. But anyway, I'm going to put Israel... I'm going to put Israel there. 2018. My personal winner that year was Belgium, who of course didn't even qualify. Let's move swiftly on to Tel Aviv 2019. Of course, do let me know your opinions as I go along. This was a year in which the Netherlands triumphed for the first time in decades. This was Duncan Lawrence with Arcade. Beautiful ballad. A lot of people loved it from the first time they heard it. I remember people reacting to this song on YouTube and crying because it was really striking a chord with them. Duncan Lawrence, since Eurovision, he's released a few songs, but to be honest, Arcade is his only hit, and probably will forever be his only hit. He won the final, to no surprise, 498 points. Italy not too far behind in second, Russia third. That's generous, heavens above. Duncan did not win the public vote. He was behind Norway, and he didn't win the jury vote. North Macedonia came out of nowhere to triumph there. Of course, the split screen at the end was between John Lundvik for Sweden and Duncan Lawrence for the Netherlands, and it should have been Duncan Lawrence and Tamara Tedesco. But anyway, Arcade is a lovely song. It really is a lovely song. I think it builds up quite nicely. It was just him behind the piano and this muted blue lighting, and then the light that drops down from the ceiling, and then the lasers across the little arena that we had. Yeah, lovely stuff. Do I think it was the right winner? Well, it was massively popular, especially after Eurovision. This was a hit in America, briefly, and it was doing well on TikTok. Not that I really know anything about that stuff. But yeah, it was quite a successful Eurovision winner, no doubt about it. Now, if we're just judging a song's commercial factor, this is right up there, I would say, over the past decade's worth of winners. But if we're taking into consideration everything else, should Italy have won? I don't think so. Soldi's a good song. It was performed in a very casual, relaxed manner. I've gone off it over the years, I'll be honest with you. Russia in third. Okay, you do you. Switzerland fourth. That was good stuff. That was good stuff. And Sweden fifth. No surprise there. I think the right song won. I do. It was great because the Netherlands hadn't won in so long. And although Italy at this point were really, really trying to win, I think they just needed a better song that year. And had they had one, they may well have finished above the Netherlands in the end. Anyway, I'm going to put Arcade... I'm going to put Arcade here, actually. Why not? So we skip past 2020 to 2021. I should say my winner in 2019 was Australia. More on them later. So Rotterdam 2021, after a year away, Eurovision was back with a reduced capacity crowd, and the winner was eventually Italy. The golden hat-trick was achieved. Male winning performer, female winning performer, band performing, made up of men and one woman. The golden hat-trick for Italy. Måneskin, who since Eurovision have just gone from strength to strength. I think they're on hiatus now, but they've released an album or two since Eurovision. I think it might be just the one album. But anyway, they've performed all over the world, toured with the Rolling Stones, I believe, had success in loads of different places. Absolutely wonderful stuff. Zitti e Buoni, Shut Up and Behave, was the title of the winning track. 524 points, some way ahead of France in second, Switzerland in third. What a great top three. Maybe the strongest top three we've ever had. You could make a case for that. In terms of the split results, Italy won the public vote quite comfortably, but were fourth with the juries, 2 points behind Malta in third, but it didn't matter in the end because Italy still won. Do I think the right song came out on top? Well, Zitti e Buoni was so well performed. It felt like a Måneskin concert, sort of red lighting, pyros, a very charismatic and confident frontman, everybody having a blast on stage, the crowd loving it, audiences at home loving it, always likely to challenge for the win. France... I felt as though there was a bit of a backlash towards this song as well. Maybe this was just when the voting was happening and the results were coming in. But I think people would have been disappointed had France won, because I think the Swiss track was more popular, and maybe still is, and the Italian song was definitely more well-loved. So maybe France winning wouldn't have been the most popular thing, but definitely it was a very, very strong performance and a very strong song. Voila was absolutely fantastic, Barbara Pravi. John's Tears, sensational. Tout l'univers was absolutely beautiful stuff. The staging maybe didn't make a great deal of sense, and it was a very monochrome looking performance. But vocally, brilliant, and the song itself, just tremendous. But I think Italy was the right choice. We needed another band to win, we needed another rock song to come along and do the business, and this just sort of blew everything else away a little bit. You know, good place in the running order, lots of momentum. I am going to put Zitti e Buoni here. There we go. I'm already running out of room. Let's now move on to 2022. This was Turin, and the winner was Ukraine. Oh boy. Kalush Orchestra with Stefania. Would this song have won anyway? Irrespective of events of a political matter happening in Eastern Europe. Would this song have won anyway? Probably. It was a pretty good performance. It was a very different sounding song. It felt very refreshing. It was a different sound, a different flavour for the competition. We'd never really had a song like this win before. It was quite intriguing to watch, I guess, these interesting outfits that the band were wearing. And there was so much attention surrounding Ukraine that year, so much attention surrounding this song. And Graham Norton, the British commentator, if I remember correctly, he said during the commentary, imagine if Ukraine don't win. They will probably view this as Europe not supporting them in this war. Anyway, 631 points. It's a big, big win. The UK was second, Spain third, Sweden fourth, Serbia fifth. Do I think the right song won? I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Because Spaceman, that was good. It was a great moment for the UK at Eurovision. Changed our fortunes a little bit, although we are sort of going back to square one now. Sam Ryder came along, He had this great social media presence. He could sing the hell out of anything. He went on stage, brimming with confidence, did an absolutely top-notch job, and the staging wasn't too over the place either. Spain, that was just pure sex appeal, but you know, sex sells, and Spain did very well. Sweden fourth, yeah, that was fantastic, my personal winner, and then Serbia fifth, quirky stuff, people gravitated towards it, and everybody was washing their hands for 3 minutes. I do think the right song won. However, I've always had a problem with the manner of victory, because I just don't think it should have received that high a score from the public. That was extremely generous, and I think people voted for everything that wasn't to do with the song, funnily enough, if you see what I mean. I think people voted for Ukraine, honestly, a little bit out of sympathy. And fine, people can vote for whatever they want to vote for and whatever reasons they want to vote for, but had political circumstances not being a thing at the time, this definitely wouldn't have received such a big score from the public. Absolutely no doubt about it. But it probably still would have won anyway. If we take a look at the split results, massively ahead of everything else in the public vote, fourth with the juries, and of course 631 points in the end, the convincing winner. I do think it was the right choice. Spaceman would have been a fine winner, and what a moment it would have been for the UK and the BBC. Spain winning, people love slow-mo. I love slow-mo. But there's no doubt about it, it's fairly ordinary stuff. Let's be honest, it was just a very convincing performance, I think. So I'm going to put Ukraine. Is it one of the strongest winners we've ever had? Maybe. Is it one of the strongest winners of recent years? Maybe. But that score was absolutely inflated. I'm going to put Stefania here, I think. Then we move on to Liverpool last year, hosting on behalf of Ukraine, of course, and the winner was Tattoo by Loreen, once again, returning to the Eurovision stage and doing the business. And Loreen triumphed with 583 points, some way ahead of Finland in second, Israel third, Italy fourth, Norway fifth. If we take a look at the split results, it was the jury vote that won it, really. So far ahead of anybody else. I mean, that was an inflated score as well. 340 points from the voting juries ahead of Israel's 177. Israel in second place in the jury vote with Unicorn. Okay, fair enough. You could say that's a bit generous. Sweden was second with the public, 243, well behind Finland on 376. Do I think the right song won? I'm going to go ahead and say no, and the reason I say that is because Loreen had already won with a better track, and now she was coming back with something not as strong, still good, but not as strong. And it just felt very manufactured. It's almost as if Sweden was so desperate to win again that they went ahead and just got Loreen for a laugh, and she just so happened to win. And I don't know if that was really the case in Sweden. I can't imagine conversations were had about really wanting to win and getting Loreen back and just going for it again. I'm not sure that was really the case, but I just got the sense that it was all maybe desperate. That's the wrong word, but maybe it was going that way. It felt like Sweden really wanted to tie Ireland's record of 7 wins, and the only way they sensed about going about it was by getting the singer of Euphoria back. I would not be surprised, dear viewers, if she comes back again in about 10 years. I can absolutely see it happening. I really can see it happening. It was a great performance. Tattoo is a good song. She sang the hell out of it. Fair play. Cha Cha Cha, my personal winner. Maybe I'm a little bit biased here. It was the runner-up for Finland. It was in Finnish. It was very colourful. It was obviously quite humorous and quirky. But it was very interesting. It was performed well. It was so catchy. The crowd loved this. It had all the momentum coming into Eurovision. People were so hoping Finland were going to do it. The public score was no surprise. It was a little bit higher than I anticipated. You can actually see my reaction to the results as they came in from the Eurovision Village in Liverpool. That video's up on my channel with my friend Peter. I think Finland should have won, because I think it was more original, I think it was more intriguing, I think it was more enjoyable, and Loreen had won before. Give somebody else a chance. Anyway, Sweden 2023. Is it one of the strongest winners we've ever had? I don't think so, but it's certainly a strong winner. I'm going to put... I'm trying to be as realistic as possible here. I'm going to put Sweden 2023 there. So, trying to rattle through this now at a really, really furious pace, we move on to this year, and of course the winner in Malmö was Switzerland, the Code, Nemo. I'll go ahead and say it, I think this is one of the strongest winners we've maybe ever had. There I am, a few moments ago, talking about Conchita and how Eurovision occasionally can be about championing the type of artist performing the song. Conchita, a drag act, Nemo non-binary, first non-binary act to win. That's a fantastic moment for the contest. Shows that anybody can win, no matter who you are, where you're from, you can triumph, people will support you. The song, fantastic, this melding of different genres, vocally sublime, the staging wasn't too crazy, this sort of this sort of balancing platform, it looked great, it wasn't manic or over the top, it really worked wonders, and I just thought it was a terrific performance, time and time again. The rehearsal footage, the semi-final performance, the grand final performance, excellent every time. The runner-up was Croatia, my winner of the year, fantastic. But was it would it have been a good winner? It would have been a good winner, absolutely. But would it have been the right winner? I'm not sure. Ukraine third, fantastic. France fourth, very good. Israel fifth. I'm rambling big time. I think Switzerland was the right winner. That's the point I'm trying to make here. I really do. 591 points. That's a very good score. Fifth in the public vote. Okay. But the very convincing jury winner. As much as I love Rim Tim Taggy Dim, the Code, fantastic. Absolutely the right choice. And I'm going to put Switzerland there. Now, if I'm ranking the winners personally, it's going to be... that, then that, I'm going to put that there. Austria 2014 is going to go there. 2016, I'm afraid, is going to be bottom of the pile, I think. 2023, that's going to go there. 2022, I think it's going to go there. 2015, I think is going to go there. 2018, oh man, I don't think Israel 2018 is actually a personal qualifier for me. Maybe it is. Not by much, though. That was a very tough first semi-final in Lisbon, no doubt about it. People were talking about it being the toughest semi-final we'd ever had up to that point, and maybe it is still the toughest semi-final we've ever had. Israel 2018, where do I put that song? Well, I think it's got to go... Oh. I'm actually going to put it there. Whoops. And then I'm going to put... Have I done everything? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, okay, here we go. So, personally, Måneskin is the strongest winner, or rather my personal preference winner, over the past decade, followed by Switzerland 2024, then it is Sweden 2023, Netherlands 2019, Austria 2014, Sweden 2015, Portugal 2019, Ukraine 2022, Ukraine 2016 is last, and just above that, sorry, is Portugal 20... What the hell am I on about? Let me do that again. My goodness me. Italy 2021 is top, Switzerland 2024, 2023, 2019, 2014, 2015, 2017, 2022, 2018, 2016. Hopefully I didn't mess up there. Now, in terms of neutrally top to bottom, let me write this out a bit better. I think the Code is the strongest winner over the past 10 years. I really do. I'm not just saying that because it's fresh in the memory. I just think it's such a great song. And so daring and well pulled off. So it's top of the pile. It's then going to be Portugal 2017. And then third is going to be Italy 2021, followed by Arcade for the Netherlands in 2019. Then it's going to be Austria 2014, followed by 1944 in 2016 for Ukraine. Then it's going to be Loreen 2023. That's a bit low, but there we are. Then Stefania 2022. Then Toy. And then Heroes, the weakest winner of the past decade. So there you go. Now, in terms of personal winners, which I'm going to be brief with because I'm aware this video is very long. My winner in 2014 was the Netherlands. Fantastic. I'm not really going to talk about these songs much because I've spoken about them so many times on my channel. Just know that I love all of these tracks. Do let me know as well. I did put something up on my community tab about this recently. In terms of your personal winners, was it always a very clear personal winner for you? So let's say the Netherlands was your personal favourite in 2014. Was that the case the moment you first heard the song? You knew it was going to be your personal winner, game over for everyone else. Because for me it wasn't. The UK was my personal winner for a while, and then I think Spain was for a bit. And then, by the time the contest happened, the Netherlands moved into number one. And if we move on to 2016, yeah, I mean, that's very close. It's not a clear-cut thing, my personal winner that year. And if we go even further back in time, 2012, heavens above, that is absolutely interchangeable between Iceland, Estonia and Denmark. But anyway, we're focusing on the past 10 years. Netherlands 2014, mwah, that is top of the pile. I can tell you that right now. It's my favourite Eurovision song thus far. My winner in 2015 was Estonia. Goodbye to Yesterday, Alina and Stig. I'd love for them to team up again next year. Wouldn't be surprised if it happened. I can see them both coming back at some point separately, but maybe together again. We'll wait and see. My winner in 2016 was Spain. Didn't love the live performance. I've barely watched it back since. That was Say Yay by Barret, and that's going to go there. It might well be bottom of the pile. My winner in 2017 was Italy. Occidentalis Carna, mentioned it earlier. Francesco Gabbani. He's had some great songs away from Eurovision, I can tell you that much. And I can see him trying again, maybe next year, to represent Italy once more. That's going to go... I do have my top 30 Eurovision songs to date on a spreadsheet. I just haven't loaded it up, so I'm trying to do this from memory. I think Occidentalis Karma... Oh man, I'm going to put it there. 2018, my winner is Belgium. Seneca Matter of Time. Not sure that's still my personal winner, but then again I haven't updated my rankings in a few years now. My runner-up was the Netherlands, Outlaw Rinnen by Whalen. Third place was Rasmussen with Higher Ground for Denmark, which might well now be my personal winner of the Lisbon Staged Contest. But I'm going to put Belgium there, I think. What a shame. The live performance just let it down. Bit like Musty for Belgium this year. Great song, people loved it. Live performance, straight down into the gutter. 2019, my winner was Australia. Loved it from the first time I heard it. Kate Miller-Heidke. I was familiar with her work anyway. She's had some great tunes. And she's still making music now. Yes, what a great live performance that was. Swinging about on the pole. I'm going to put that there. My winner in 2020 was Norway. Ulrika with Attention. Oh my god, what a ballad. What a ballad. I think that's going to go there. Oh, beautiful. Just wonderful. 2021, it was Italy. Absolutely. A very rare occasion in which the real-life winner is my personal winner. That's going to go there. Then it's Cornelia Jacobs with Hold Me Closer for Sweden, 2022. And there must be a video on my channel where I heard part of that song for the very first time, because I was making videos about Melfest for several weeks. So that video must be somewhere on my channel. Hold Me Closer is great. Absolutely great. I'm going to put that there, though, I think. This is all over the shop now. My winner last year was Finland. And that's got to go there, I think. And then my winner this year, Croatia. So very interesting that for me, my last two personal winners haven't been a million miles away from each other in terms of sound. You know, Cha Cha Cha, Rim Tim Taggy Dim. There are similarities, both male performers. I think Rim Tim Taggy Dim... I think for now it has to go there. So, Netherlands 2014 is top of the pile for me. followed by Finland 2023, Italy 2021, Croatia 2024, Estonia 2015, Italy 20... What? Yes, Italy 2017, Norway 2020, Sweden 2022, Australia 2019, Spain 2016, Belgium 2018. Yes, indeed. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on my personal winners over the past decade as well. And let me know your personal winners too. And like I said earlier, are they your clear personal winner, or is it a close-run thing with another country or several countries? Feel free to let me know. A really messy video, hasn't turned out exactly the way I wanted it to. But long story short, I do think more often than not, the right song wins. It's usually a favourite to win that wins, it must be said. And occasionally we do have a bit of a blip on the radar, but they are, I would say, fairly few and far between. Yes, indeed. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll be back with another Eurovision related video fairly soon. Hopefully the quality of this video wasn't too bad. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on anything I've discussed today by leaving a comment, all of that good stuff. And until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye for now.